Hi guys, so today I'm here with the first video in the Sephora experience series. A lot of people may not like that I'm talking about this or talking about my job because some people think I talk about it too much, but I'm really proud of my job and I wanted to do a video like this for you guys because I know a lot of people, when on my gratis hauls especially, are like, I want to work at Sephora, and I just kind of want to give you guys my experience and what happened with me. So I'm going to definitely section this video off. This will obviously be the interview process. Then I will do NSO training, which is new store opening training, brand training, merchandising / grand opening, and then you guys can, I guess, ask me questions for like just working at Sephora in general, because I still do like my gratis hauls and stuff. So this is all going to be based off of my experience and my store, and it's all going to be like honest opinion and things like that. I absolutely love working for Sephora, so this isn't really going to be like a negative video. So I hope you didn't come here to see like negative feedback. So this is going to be the interview process, and if you like these kinds of videos and want to see more of these, definitely let me know because I'm a little nervous about uploading this, but I feel like I'll get hopefully a positive reaction just like my gratis hauls. So the interview process, this is all going to be what happened to me. I'm not necessarily giving advice, so I'll get started. So you can see sort of me in the process of working at Sephora. Actually, if you watch Brian and I's weekly vlog channels, we started like the week that I applied at Sephora, so you can kind of see the progress if you would have been subscribed. My Sephora is in a mall where there's actually two Sephoras. So there's a higher volume Sephora on the other side because our mall is really huge, and then there's my store, which is a lower volume store on the other side. So I applied initially to work at the higher volume store. I went in and got an application. I just walked up to the cash register and I was like, hi, I just wanted to get an application. Nobody really looked at me funny. They were just like, alright, and they gave me one, and I went home and filled it out. And then I was going to the smaller mall across the street, I think the next day or something like that, and I saw that there was going to be a Sephora in that mall, and like it was just basically like a big black like board over the store, and it was like, Sephora is coming, here's the number. And I was like, well, I kind of want to work at the new store because, you know, there's probably a better chance of me working at the new store than working at the other store that's already been open for, you know, a long time. So I went home and called the number that night. I still had my application already filled out and things like that. I called the number, message, just kind of like along the lines of, hi, you know, my name's Kirsten. I would love to work for Sephora. I have an application already filled out. Please feel free to give me a call back. I gave them my number. And literally the next day, I did get a call back from who is now my boss, and I got a call and she was like, yeah, we're having group interviews. I believe it was a Sunday at like 9:30 in the morning, which like I was sketched out because I was like, the mall doesn't even open till 11. How am I going to get in? Which I obviously got in easy. So a week later to that Sunday, because that was like a Monday that she called, I went to my group interview and I was not dressed appropriately. I will be totally honest. I hadn't had any money. I had just moved to California. I had just quit my job, so I didn't have any like dress clothes. I literally wore dark wash skinny jeans, black Vans, a sheer black blouse, and I pulled my hair up and I wore just like this makeup. Really, I wore like Cinnamon Mushroom and then like a kind of like lilac-y purple lip because I had read a lot of stuff online about how like if you wear like bright colored makeup you stand out. So I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna do that. So I went to my group interview, and I had a group interview with 7 people, and just so you guys know, out of those 7 people, 4 of us actually got hired. So that's kind of like how that happened. So 7 people, there was 3 rows of chairs, 3 chairs in each row. I was in the second row, the chair like all the way on the end. So basically, we were all taken to the back. We all sat down. We had the store director and the store specialist were interviewing us. And they basically explained to us how the new store is opening and how they want like, you know, an amazing cast. They want people that are just going to just totally overwhelm the public, give everybody, you know, educate clients, just be like the best we can be, and they want the best Sephora cast. And I was really intimidated because I knew out of this entire group of girls that I was definitely the youngest. I was probably the least experienced, which I later found out I wasn't, which was crazy, and things like that. So they asked a lot of questions. They kind of, the way the process went was that they asked a question, and then like each person in the, like went around the group and answered kind of like lengthy answers. Oh gosh, this was so long ago, so it's so hard for me to remember. I believe the first question was just kind of give you like a brief explanation of yourself. So I obviously was just like, hi, you know, I'm 18, I just moved out here. I was like, give a brief explanation of yourself and why Sephora. So I did all that, I answered my question. I don't know, I kind of was like, I was really nervous, but I still gave off kind of like confidence, I feel, I hope. And then they asked that, and then they asked, you know, what our previous previous experience was. They asked who was your most favorite, your favorite supervisor and your least favorite supervisor, and why. Like, give like a legitimate reason, not like I hated him because he was mean. Like, well, they didn't do this and I felt like they should have done that, you know what I'm saying? So I had obviously already had 2 jobs before, so it was really easy for me to like be like, I liked this person, I didn't like this person. Made sense. And then I think they said, they explained like the worlds to us, how there's color, ops, fragrance, skincare, and cash wrap. And they said if you can choose to be in one world, what would you choose? I chose color and cash wrap. I said 2. Just because I obviously wanted to be in color, but I didn't feel I was experienced enough at the time to be in color yet. So we did that, and then we split off into 2 groups to do demos. The color girls went and did their demos, and then I was in the cash wrap group. And what we had to do was they had to give like a situation to the client, and we were at cash wrap, and they had to kind of act it out, and they wanted to see how we would react. So I think my client was supposed to be somebody that was just kind of like irritated and in a rush, which is very true because we have a lot of clients that are irritated and in a rush. And when I was finished, I was with the store specialist, whom I loved very much. I actually love everyone I work with. And I remember her saying that like she really liked that the product the person put on the counter, I kind of tried to give like another product to them that would work just like together. Like they had, I think it was Purity facial cleanser, and I was like, you should try Hope in a Jar. Something along those lines, because I obviously know a lot about Purity and things like that, because a lot of people on YouTube talked about it. So that was kind of it. Then they shook our hands and we said thank you, and I left. I felt confident, but I wasn't very confident enough. I didn't know if they would hire me, just because I was really upset that I wore jeans when everybody else looked amazing. And I was really upset that I didn't feel like I had enough experience, because the girl that sat next to me who got hired, she had a lot of experience. The girl that, like the other girls that got hired, like my friend Hillary, you guys probably saw her in my BeautyCon vlog, she was in my group interview, which is so funny because I remember, this is so weird. Hillary, if you're watching this, I'm just going to explain how weird I was. I remember Hillary talking about how like she used to work in like the Bippity Boppity boutique, and I was just standing there looking at her like, oh my god, I love this girl, I want to be this girl. I was like so like so awkward, because like now me and Hillary are like best friends. It's really awkward. But anyway, so she got hired, the girl next to me got hired, and the girl behind me got hired, and they actually were all hired in color, and I got hired at cash wrap. So after the interview, of course I felt a little nervous. I had worn jeans, I felt underdressed, and I felt like I could have done more, I felt like, but I was still kind of like crossing my fingers like, you know, I still did the best I could, and you know, maybe I will get this. So I went to sleep, and the next day I woke up to a phone call from the store specialist, who said that she really liked my interview and she wanted to do a phone interview with me and if we could schedule one. So I think I scheduled it for like 2 days later at like 10 a.m. So that 2 days later at 10 a.m. I got a phone call, and the interview basically, I don't really remember how it went. I mean, my store specialist was the one that interviewed me, and she just is like a person. She's just really fun and like really nice and really just has a good like sense of humor to her. So kind of talking to her on the phone kind of really eased my nervousness down when I was being phone interviewed. But I believe she just asked questions like, when am I available, how many hours would I like to work, what I would like to make, just really simple stuff. And then she was like, alright, well, I'm going to call your 2 references, and then I will give you a call back letting you know what I think. And I believe my first reference was my old boss, who like really adored me because I worked really, really hard. And then my other reference was Brian, because he's not family, so I listed him as a reference. And obviously Brian gave me a good reference. So I believe it took like 45 minutes. She called me back and she offered me the job. And I was totally like, so excited. She was like, we're hiring you at Cash Drop. This is how much you'll be making. We will email you and give you a call when the training is going to happen, because I was actually in like the first group of people to be interviewed, so they actually had a bunch more people they needed to interview in order to get a whole cast together. So after the interview process, that was how I got hired. It would be a month later before I started training, but that's basically all that really happened. It was like a blessing in disguise, because I almost worked at the Rainforest Cafe, y'all. I almost worked there. Actually, and I was about to get a job at PacSun too. I had an interview at PacSun. I should have took that too. I should have worked both. That would have been awesome. But, so that's how it happened. That's the interview process. So I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this video. Hope you guys understood a little bit more. If you would like to see another video in this series, the next one will be the NSO training, new store opening training, SOS, and then I'll go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And hope you enjoyed my story. Bye.